It's one of the biggest questions about our new Raiders stadium. Where will you park? Good evening. I'm Latoya Silman in for Jim Snyder.
And I'm Reed Cowan. Okay, so today the team spelled out a few answers. They submitted a parking plan to the county. And we are your Raiders authority, and our Jeff Gillen is on the stadium parking beat for us. He joins us live from the stadium. Jeff, where are we pulling those four wheels?
Well, I'm going to tell you in just a second, Reed. Good evening, Las Vegas. Good to see all of you. Look at this. Boy, that stadium is really rising behind me. Today, the team addressed one of its biggest outstanding issues. Just think, 2 years from right now, we'll be talking about kickoff. But before you enjoy the game, you got to get here first. And at McMullen's Irish Pub, Darren, sitting at the end of the bar, could be a Raiders parking consultant.
I think in the age of Uber and enough taxi cabs and everything, I think people don't really want to take their car to a stadium any longer.
The Raiders parking plan unveiled today partly depends on it. The Raiders stadium is the first to be completely designed in the age of rideshare, says the company that will run the stadium. It expects thousands of fans will Uber or Lyft or taxi to the stadium, which will have separate areas for pickup and drop-off. For those who want to drive, the team will use 4 remote lots for parking with shuttles to the stadium. One of them is right across from McMullen's. The team says it can get up to 4,600 spaces at the Orleans, up to 1,175 spaces at this site at Arville and Trop, up to 2,500 spaces at this land at Las Vegas Boulevard and Arby, and up to 3,600 spaces at Las Vegas Boulevard and Blue Diamond. More than 14,000 spaces in all.
It's a good first step. I don't think this is the final.
County Commissioner Steve Sisolak wants to make sure fans in cars don't swamp parking at nearby businesses and resorts.
That we can't overwhelm those garages that are at capacity now with the patrons that are staying in those properties.
The stadium company says it is not relying on that parking, nor does it rely on the 25,000 spaces at businesses west of the stadium. The parking it's identified is sufficient to meet all of the demand for a game, says the stadium company. In the meantime, that stadium rises on 62 acres that do not have the space for the more than 16,000 parking spaces zoning requires. Hence the team's parking pickle, one which it says today it is solving. And back now live here at your Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. Speaking about that parking pickle, the team is expected to get a waiver from the county on that parking requirement, which will allow it to then park about between 2,300 and 2,700 cars on the stadium site. The county commission takes up the parking issue next Wednesday. Live here in Las Vegas, I'm Jeff Gillen, News 3. Read back to you.
Fascinating thing. The last I read, seating capacity was 70,000. So this is a story that will continue, Jeff.